Critical Role is a fantastic show. It has wonderful people, it has an incredible GM, and for the most part, it has a great community. For the most part. And with Campaign 3 just around the corner, there are going to be a whole lot of new people watching Critical Role. This happens with every campaign. And it's not just for Critical Role, it's for every online campaign. The first episode of every campaign and the last episode of every campaign are the most watched episodes, with everything else falling at a regular, steady amount of numbers. Everybody wants to try it out, see what it's like, and the perfect way to try it out is to start from the beginning, episode 1. And then eventually those who like it will stay, and those who get busy with other things, or forget about it, or didn't really find it interesting will trickle off. But then some of them will come back at the very end because it's the big climactic battle, it's the final episode, they want to see what happens. Even if they didn't see everything in the middle, or even just watch the very first part, it's still thrilling to watch the end and watch it all unfold. So the views trickle back up. It happens with Dimension 20, it happens with Arcade, and it absolutely happens with Critical Role. And with all these new people watching Critical Role, you will also get a whole bunch of new fans who are very, very problematic people to have within the community. And Critical Role is by no means the only community that has these types of fans within it. Almost every single thing in existence will have self-proclaimed fans involved in the community that are really more of a detriment than a benefit. And the unfortunate thing is those few people will always outshine the rest. A few bad apples will always spoil the bunch. Fans of Critical Role are often referred to as critters. Now, unfortunately, there is no self-proclaimed name for those critters who outshine the rest. And they don't outshine the rest in a good way. When any of the cast members get on Twitter and talk about the community and the critters and how much they love them and how much they appreciate them tuning in and watching the show and taking part of the content, they do not mean these people. Now, in the beginning, during Campaign 1, these few people were not very prominent, but that's of course because the show itself was not very well known. It was just getting its feet going. It was just getting started, as well as its community. But of course, as the community grows and the show grows, the more and more people get infected within this community. But I've put off talking about these people long enough, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of these people. Probably the most well-known time that these people really made themselves known is back during the later arc of Campaign 2, where Laura Bailey's character, Jester, regained a whole bunch of information that unfortunately cost her to age up a few years. Now, this was a random encounter. This was not something that was planned. It was something that randomly happened thanks to the roll of a dice. As well as something important is that Jester, the character, did not care that this happened to them. They were able to gain a whole lot of very valuable information, but it caused them to age up a couple years. Now, they did not go from a child to an adult or anything drastic like that. They went from being an adult in-game to being a slightly older adult in-game. But holy shit, did people go fucking buck wild over this. The amount of people absolutely fucking livid that this happened on a show that they cannot control, on a show that is all about improv. There is no script. This is live Dungeons and Dragons with dice rolling and improv and character decisions and choices being made on the fucking fly. But the amount of people that got fucking unbelievably livid over this truly boggles my mind. To the point where the Dungeon Master, Matthew Mercer, probably one of the most humble people I've ever seen live on TV, almost had to push away from Twitter over this fucking incident. I want you to take a look at this tweet right here and just read it out to yourself. This man loves this community. He loves his games, he loves his players, and he has truly enjoyed doing this for years. that one moment and the way people responded to it caused him to say this. This was unbelievable when I saw it. This was unheard of to see from Matthew. And it hurts so bad that he had to say this. The last thing I'll mention are people who are force shipping characters during the campaign. Oh my god, that is awful to see. I have seen Twitter pages made completely dedicated to the shipping of two characters. Characters that aren't even together in the campaign. A perfect example, I saw a Twitter page a while ago during Campaign 2's running that was all about Beauregard and Jester shipping. And every single tweet was about this ship. Innocent enough at first. If that's your ship, that's your ship. That's fine, so long as you're not being so fucking egregious with it. Oh, but they were. They were posting on every single one of Critical Role's tweets talking about this ship and how this ship was the only ship that mattered to them and that it had to happen or they were going to be fucking furious. They had fan art on their page, on their banner. It was in their bio. Every single thing about this Twitter page was about this ship, and it was forceful and it was aggressive and it was downright disturbing at times. Now, ironically, this ship did not happen. Beauregard and Jester did not happen. Beauregard and Yasha happened and Jester ended up with Ford. And holy shit, did this Twitter page go fucking berserk. To the point where I have to believe that this page was made as a joke. I cannot sit here and fathom the idea that someone would be that fucking angry over a ship for characters in a live improv show. But the sad thing is that I've been involved with this community enough to know that it probably wasn't a joke. They probably were that fucking angry. So with Campaign 3 right around the corner for Critical Role, there's going to be a whole lot of more eyeballs on this show. There's going to be a whole fucking wave of new people coming in to check out Critical Role now that it is starting fresh with a brand new campaign, just like what happened with Campaign 2. And I am most likely, like I did for the entirety of Campaign 2, going to be watching it with Twitch chat turned off. Which is really unfortunate because there are moments when I love looking at Twitch chat, when something awesome happens, and it's fun to be hyped and excited with everyone in the chat. But majority of the time, that Twitch chat is full of truly terrible, deplorable, awful people. And as much as I would like to hope that things will get better during Campaign 3, I have a feeling they won't. But I would love to be proven wrong. I genuinely am excited for Campaign 3, even though I rant about a lot of the toxic people within this fan base. Once again, they are few and far between versus the fan base as a whole. But I hope you're excited for Campaign 3, and if you haven't ever watched Critical Role, I hope you tune in to episode 1 of Campaign 3 and give it a shot. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you to my Patreons, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Skål.